Hello, welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and please check out my channel for other updates. So the last update about Twist of Fate, Rhea confessed to Prachi that she planned her death with Nick, and she tells Prachi that she regrets saving her life and she will never lose the opportunity of killing Prachi whenever she have the opportunity again. Let's continue. Shaana comes to Prachi's ward. The nurse asks if she is happy seeing Prachi and says she was asking about her room. Prachi asks Shaana not to cry and says she is fine. Shaana says Rhea met her outside and said that I should be with you as I was not with you and she has done what she did not want to do. Prachi tells Shaana that she was hit by a car and nobody helped her. Then Rhea came and helped her. Shaana asks Rhea. Prachi says yes. She says after my treatment, Rhea came and said that she regrets for saving me and told me that she doesn't have any emotion for me and she wants me to die and she will not leave any chance to kill me. Prachi says that Rhea is very bad and she said that we cannot be sisters as Ranbir will be between us always. Shaana asks how did you hear so bad from her and says that it is all Prachi's mistake to regard Rhea as her sister. Prachi says that she regards Rhea as her sister when she is alone with her, but when Ranbir is in front of them, then she sees an illegal second wife in Rhea. She says as long as she is alive, she will not let anyone come between Ranbir and her. Prachi asks Shaana to give mangoes to Ranbir, and Prachi goes for checkup. Ranbir feels that Prachi is coming near him and says, I can feel you. The nurse is taking Prachi for checkup. Ranbir sees Prachi and thinks that I know that our connection is more stronger than our love. He smiles. A song plays in the background. Prachi is made to lie down for the foetus well-being scan. Ranbir walks towards the scan room. Pallavi is restless and she thinks about the doctor's words. Rhea comes there and asks, did you call me? She asks, should I call the doctor or dad? Pallavi says no need and asks her to go to the hospital and be with Ranbir. Rhea says I wanted to go, but Ranbir doesn't want to see me and he just wants to see Prachi as if Prachi is a princess. Rhea gets vomiting sensation. Pallavi asks if she is fine. Rhea says she couldn't sleep last night and that is why she is feeling unwell. She says tonight she will sleep. Pallavi asks her to go and stay with Ranbir. If she stays there, then Ranbir will not cross his limit, else he will do anything. Rhea asks Pallavi that why didn't you tell me this before and asks if there is something. Pallavi says no and asks Rhea to do as she says. She then says sorry to her and says this is for your betterment. I don't want them to get any chance or reason to get closer. She says in fact, you should become the reason so that they get separate. Pallavi wishes that something should happen between Ranbir and Prachi, that they should get separate from each other. The scan doctor asks Prachi if she wants to hear her baby's heartbeat. Prachi smiles and says yes. The doctor makes Prachi hear the baby's heartbeat as she scans. Ranbir comes there and hears the doctor saying that Prachi is pregnant and he was shocked. Prachi gets emotional hearing her baby's heartbeat and says my baby is fine. Ranbir gets surprised and shocked and he drops the flower down. He goes through a turmoil and recalls their moment. A flashback is shown. Ranbir tells Prachi that he has brought Archer for her. Prachi asks if I will fill my stomach with Archer. He says we are pregnant. I don't want my kid to say that he did not have Archer. Prachi says she is not pregnant and she eats him. Ranbir says you will get pregnant. If not today, then tomorrow. Prachi says to Ranbir that when I get pregnant, then I will tell you. Ranbir says it would have been good if I can keep the baby in my stomach and taste different types of Archer. He tastes it and says it is sour. Prachi says you cannot have it and you wanted to keep the baby. Ranbir gets sad. Prachi kisses on his cheeks and says she might fall in love with him more. She says when she gets pregnant, then Ranbir should take care of her and she will take care of the baby. The flashback ends. Ranbir says why did you not tell me? He recalls telling Prachi about his 3 dreams. Ranbir says I was waiting for this day since long, but you snatched my right from me. Even I have the same right as you. He recalls telling Prachi that if he comes to know that she is hiding something from him, then he doesn't know what will be the consequences. He then feels great and says that he is going to be a father. Ranbir asks Pihan to take money and buy sweet for everyone. He says my dream is going to be completed. He then thinks to confront Prachi and asks her why did she hide the biggest happiness of his life from him. He comes to the doctor and asks that where is Prachi. The doctor says Prachi is resting in her room and she needs rest. Ranbir says I need answers and he recalls hearing the baby's heartbeat. He comes to Prachi's ward and says I will never forgive you for what you have done with me. I was asking you always and you refused. He says, when I saw the pregnancy medicine in your room, you said that Shahana is pregnant and not you. Ranbir says to the sleeping Prachi that I have the right on you and you have hidden this from me, though you know how important it is for me. He asks, why have you been punishing me and why were you scared to inform me that I'm going to become a father? Prachi is still sleeping. Rhea comes to the hospital and thinks of Pallavi's words. Payon distributes sweet to everyone and also gives to Rhea. Rhea takes the sweet and goes. Ranbir says today he felt the good news and he felt as if his baby told him that, Father, I am coming. He then apologized to the sleeping Prachi for shouting at her and says he has a valid reason. Ranbir thanks Prachi for making him a father and for giving him the biggest happiness of his life. He asks her to fight with him later and talk to him. He calls her and gets worried when she did not respond. The nurse comes there and says that the baby is fine. Ranbir asks the nurse that why is Prachi not opening her eyes. The nurse says that the doctor has given Prachi a sleeping pills so that she can get a peaceful sleep. Ranbir thanks the nurse. He comes near Prachi and sits on her bed. He then holds her hand and kisses her hand. A song plays in the background. Ranbir asks the sleeping Prachi to get well for him and the baby and says, once you get fine, then I will give so much love to you. I will make every day as the happiest day of your life and I will give you all the happiness. Get well soon. He kisses on her forehead. A song plays in the background. Ranbir lies down beside Prachi inside the ward. He keeps his hand on Prachi's hand and then on her tummy, asking that why did she hide this from him. Vikram comes home and recalls Pallavi slapping Prachi. He gets upset with Pallavi and says, I want to tell you something and I will stand by my words. Vikram says that Prachi's parents are not in her life and she has no guardian or elders who support her or who says that they are there for her. Pallavi asks Vikram if he is feeling pity and love on Prachi. Vikram says, I love my son and my son loves Prachi and she will not live such a life in this life, and that is why I have decided that I am not only Ranbir's father but also Prachi's father. Pallavi asks Vikram, what are you saying? Vikram says, I am talking emotional, which you don't have inside you, and that is why you slapped Prachi in the hospital. What wrong did Prachi do? She had given consent for Ranbir's treatment. She says you got angry. Okay, but then the doctor clarified, you did not apologize to her. I understood that it was your ego. Vikram says to Pallavi that Prachi met with an accident, but he did not have any feelings or sympathy for her. He says, I am telling you this, as you should not get shocked when I become Prachi's father, and asks Pallavi to clear the things here. Else, if he says anything outside the room, then she may get more shocked. Ranbir thinks that Shahana might know, and that is why she roams protective with Prachi. He says, my child has shown me everything. I know you have faced and bear so much in life. He says, I promise to love you all my life. And even if I haven't promised, then also I have loved you only, as I have no reason to live than loving you. Ranbir says, as long as my breath is with me, then I will never leave you, and I will not let you go away from me, and I will not go away from you. He says, though we have fight, but I will make sure that we don't go separate ways, and says that there is a reason for our union, our child. He says Rhea will not come between us. Rhea comes to Ranbir's ward and thinks that he might be in Prachi's room. Ranbir says people say that whatever happens is for good, and says when I was far away from you, that was the bad phase of my life. He says there was nothing good in that. I doubted you and I couldn't trust you, whom I love so much. Ranbir says to the sleeping Prachi that my life was ruined that day, and he wished to change that day if God gives him a chance. He says you have hidden the truth from me, as I haven't trusted you. You kept me away from our child, as it is my punishment. I deserve it. He says, I loved you, but I haven't trusted you. I deserve this, and Ranbir kisses Prachi's hand. Ranbir continued to say to the sleeping Prachi that I hurt you so much. I am so sorry. He says, when you gain consciousness, then I will tell you that I know about your pregnancy, and then thinks to prove that he can be a good husband. He thinks to make a fresh start with Prachi and their child. He says, you have fulfilled my dream, and he thanks her and says, I want to hug everyone. Rhea comes there. Ranbir hugs Rhea in excitement of Prachi's pregnancy news. Prachi opens her eyes and sees Ranbir hugging Rhea. She gets shocked and recalls Rhea's words that she will snatch Ranbir from her. Rhea also hugs Ranbir and asks him to tell her the reason for his happiness. Ranbir says Prachi will tell you the reason. The nurse comes there. Prachi gets angry and tells the nurse that she wants to go home now. Ranbir asks her to rest, but Prachi insists. Shahana comes there. Ranbir says I will complete the formalities and he asks Shahana to bring Prachi to the parking lot. Ranbir and Rhea goes. Shahana asks Prachi that why is she angry. Prachi asks if I cannot get angry. Rhea is happy thinking about Ranbir hugging her. Ranbir brings the car. Rhea thinks about the hugging still. Ranbir asks about Prachi and says I will see. Rhea holds Ranbir's hand and pretends to sleep and holds him. Prachi comes there and gets more upset. Ranbir sees Prachi and Shahana and asks them to come. Prachi tells Rhea that she will remember whatever she said in the hospital room. Rhea says I will not let you forget whatever I said. Ranbir opens the car door and thinks that did I do something? Why is Prachi upset? Prachi sits at the back seat of the car angrily. Ranbir thinks that Prachi is always angry. Rhea tells Ranbir that the seatbelt is not tying. Ranbir gives her instructions. Prachi asks Ranbir to help Rhea and she taunts Ranbir. Ranbir started driving the car and he looks at Prachi and he thinks that Prachi is very angry. Ranbir thinks that I made Prachi angry and I will calm her down. He thinks to tell her that he will make her very happy. Prachi thinks that Ranbir is not talking to me now. Shahana asks if something happened. Prachi says I will tell you at home. Prachi opens the window. Rhea asks her to close the window, but Prachi says that she likes to have fresh air. Ranbir smiles and recalls Prachi enjoying the fresh air standing on the window. A flashback is shown. Prachi asks about Ranbir's interview. Ranbir says it was okay. Prachi asks him to take a deep breath and feel the hair. Ranbir tries and says that this hair is telling me that Prachi likes it. Prachi says whenever she has tension in the office, she comes home and feels the hair. Ranbir says to Prachi that it is wonderful that you find happiness in small things. Prachi says there is so much happening in life. I have just your love and this rented house. She says she feels sad thinking that she has to leave the house one day. Ranbir says if I say that you can keep it forever. Prachi says that then she will think that her sweet dreams has been fulfilled. Ranbir promised Prachi that one day he will buy this house for Prachi and he would ask her for a kiss in return. The flashback ends. Ranbir thinks that he will fulfill Prachi's dream of the house. Jai comes to the office and sees someone sitting. He asks, did Ranbir call you? The guy says yes. Ranbir asks, can I talk to someone? He picks the call. Jai asks, did you call Stanley Johnson? Ranbir says yes and asks him to ask Johnson to come tomorrow. Prachi says to Jai that Ranbir is unwell and he needs to rest. Rhea thinks that thank God that I did not refuse to go, else Ranbir would have taken his anger on me. They reach home. Rhea and Shahana get down first. Prachi gets down and Apalu gets stuck on Ranbir's watch. Ranbir says I did not hold it. It is stuck in my watch. Prachi asks Ranbir to concentrate on work which he is doing. He says I am doing it, which is good for me. Rhea gets upset seeing them sharing a moment while trying to free the Palu. Rhea tears the sari to free the watch. Ranbir asks, what did you do? Rhea says I will get a new sari for Prachi. She says she will talk to her sweet sister. Ranbir goes. Rhea wants Prachi to stay away from Ranbir, else she would have the same thing like this Palu. Prachi says, what did you say? That you will throw me out in 7 days. And says tomorrow those 7 days are completing. And she gives her the best wishes. Rhea smiles thinking about Ranbir hugging her. And she says to herself that Prachi is unaware of what her story is going to turn to very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and please share this video. Thank you.